So now I've got some more quadratic problems. This is a chapter 9 problem. It says a ball is thrown into the air with an upward velocity of 64 feet per second. Its initial height in feet after t seconds is given by the function y equals negative 16t squared plus 96t plus 2. So in a few years you'll take physics and you'll do this all the time. Remember when you shot off the rockets? What happens is it shoots up and it goes all the way up. And there's this maximum height right here. And what happens is that's at the, right at the top, exactly in the middle of the parabola. So from here to the center of the parabola is the time that it takes. And then up here, that's going to be my maximum height. So how am I going to figure out what the time is? Well, that's at my axis of symmetry. And the way that I find my axis of symmetry is this. X equals the opposite of b all over 2a. So that comes from the outside of the quadratic formula. You don't need the square root part. You just want to see where is it at the top. So how do I know what b and all of those things are? Well, I'm just going to write down that a equals negative 16, b equals 96, and c equals 2. So if I plug in the opposite of b, I get negative 96 all over 2a, so over 32. Well, if I took out my calculator or just used my brain, I would know that that gives me 3. So that means it takes 3 seconds to get over here. Well, if I know that it takes 3 seconds, can I figure out the height? You bet I can, because I have this equation up here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that equation. So it says negative 16 times whatever the time is. Well, I'm telling you, or we just figured out that the time is 3. You're going to square it. Plus 96 times whatever the time is, which we said was 3, and then plus 2. So I take out my handy-dandy calculator. Now, here's what you need to know. You need to do the 3 squared first, so it's 16 times 9, not negative 16 times 3 all squared. So I'm going to type into my calculator negative 16 times 9 plus 96 times 3 plus 2. So that means my y is 146. So after 3 seconds, the height of the ball that is thrown is 146. So this might be a problem that you want to say, I think I need to write some stuff about that in my notes. Next one, solve by finding the square roots. Now, here's what you need to know. On this test, if it says solve by finding the square roots, for sure you can do that. But if it doesn't work for you, you get to solve it however you want. So, here's my thought. If it's by solving square roots, I'm just going to put the line down. That means I want to get the x squared by itself. So, if I want to get the x squared by itself, I have to add 34, so I get 4x squared equals 100. Then I keep going, divide by 4, so x squared equals 25. So a lot of people are like, 5! To which I say, yes! And what else squared gives you 25? Well, it could be x equals 5 or negative 5, because negative 5 times negative 5 also gives you 25. Now, I have had a couple of people say, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't really know how to do it that way. Well, I'm almost positive then you could do it this way. What if I moved this 66 over and set it equal to 0? Then I would have 4x squared minus 100 equals 0. That might be easier for you. Do you see that you can divide everything by 4? And now you get x squared minus 25 equals 0. Or really, you could have just factored that out up there. Now what I see is that I've got x plus 5 times x minus 5 equals 0. So my answer is negative 5 and positive 5. It's easier to see both answers from this way. If up top you had wanted to take that into 2x plus 10 times 2x minus 10, totally could have done that as well, and you still would have gotten negative 5, positive 5. Okay. Then this one up here says x squared minus 81 equals 0, and it says do it by square roots. but may I say, you might see this easier. Do you see where the positive 9 and the negative 9 came from? If that's the case, then I know that x equals negative 9 or positive 9. That might be a better way for you to get an answer. Either that or you could have just added the 81 and gotten x squared equals 81. But then do you personally know that you get positive 9 and negative 9 for that? If I keep going, these solve using the zero product property. Sometimes these directions get you, but if you just drew an arrow right there and an arrow right there, I'm almost positive that you could get the right answer really fast. You would know that x equals 7 or 5. Now in this case we just say x equals 7 and x equals 5 because you're just trying to find what this does. This is really just at 5 and 7 where a parabola crosses. And so it's just telling you here's an answer and here's an answer. So you might have to look at a graph and find an answer. It's just where it crosses the x-axis right here. And so when it's in a fraction, the bottom is what makes the graph not work. But here it's where does the graph actually hit 0. Then if I look at this one, my answer is actually 4 for that one. If you're like, 4, how are you getting 4? Well, watch this. 2x minus 8 equals 0. Add the 8. 2x. So whenever there's a number right there, that sometimes throws you a little bit off. Divide by 2, so x equals 4. This one, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be negative 3 over 4. So we spent a lot of time working how to try it, but we're at the final. If you just see the pattern, I switched the sign. It's the end number divided by the front one. Now this one, it's really positive 5 over 1. We just didn't have to write that. So the pattern holds true all the time, but we more solved it rather than looked at the actual pattern. All right, this one solved by factoring and then using the zero property. So what that means is this one you've got to actually factor it on your own first. What multiplies to give you negative 36 adds to give you negative 9. I think 12 and 3. So x and 12, x and 3. One has to be positive, one has to be negative, equals 0. But that's not my answer. My answer is positive 12 over 1 and negative 3 over 1. Okay, so those are my two answers. This one right here, it's not set up right. You've got to set it to 0. You might want to write that in your notes. So I have to subtract the 5 to both sides before I can pull it apart. So x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. What does that pull apart to? X and x, 5 and 1. So x minus 5, x plus 1. If you're like, oh my word, Beaver, you went so fast. Okay, my assumption is we've been doing this for 4 months that you can go a little faster. If you can't, push pause and think about it. All right, so x equals 5, x equals negative 1. Almost done. The last several use the quadratic formula. So, what am I going to do? Did you write the quadratic formula down? X equals the opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I list a equals 3, b equals 25, c equals 8. X equals the opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now I grab my handy dandy calculator and I see that this gives me negative 25 plus or minus square root of 529. all over 6. The square root of 529, pause, put it in your calculator and see what you get. Alright, so negative 25. Then I'm going to do a plus equation and a minus. Happened to be 23 all over 6. That gives me negative 1/3. Now it does say round to the nearest hundredth, so you get negative 0.33333333, so negative 0.33 because you round correctly. But then you also do the same equation, negative 25, but this time you go minus 23 all over 6. So that gives you negative 8. So I must have gotten negative 48 when I put those top two together, divided by 6. All right, try this next one on your own. So pause and then come back. All right, I'm just going to write it, but I'm not going to talk through it. You see if you can get it. Okay, quick thought. You must push enter before you divide by 8. So do negative 4 plus square root of 96, enter, divided by 8. When I do that, I get 0.72, so 72 hundredths, or negative 1 and 72 hundredths. So you do two different solutions whenever you do the quadratic formula. Hope that helps!